Hey everyone, welcome to the GameGravy Rewind podcast, and this is a special edition episode. We got Eddie here today with us, as well as Dante.
It's special because I'm in it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a short bus episode.
Yes.
Thank you. So, water down the wrong pipe.
Right? He's choking on water. We already started off to a great start.
Oh yeah, wonderful.
So, we're going to talk about a few things here, which is funny because we've been talking about a lot of Nintendo stuff recently, but this is going to be a fun one. We're going to talk about the mobile arena for Nintendo because we haven't talked about that in any prior podcasts, and we're going to talk about if it's good that Nintendo's delving into the mobile realm, how much games should cost because people are complaining like crazy because they're freemium games, what the games are and all that stuff. Then we'll move on to Zelda, dive in more depth. Last week's episode we actually talked a little bit about it, but in this episode we're going to talk about like how far we are, tricks and hidden things, just things that would, stood out to us, different controls, weapons and strategies, and then we're going to talk about the question. The last thing is hater to question mark. Eddie was hating on the system. He got like 7 hours of gameplay in there. We're going to see how he feels about it now. So let's start off with the mobile arena, Eddie.
Okay.
Let's kick it off.
No, I recently, did the thing where, I'm not dead set on buying a Switch, obviously, but just in case, I wanted to make sure that all my stuff from my, like, Wii U account and everything, my Nintendo Network ID carried over, so I got everything set up. And so I figured, what the hell, I'll download, Miitomo and Fire Emblem and stuff to my mobile phone, and, give them a shot. Mario Run's not out yet for Android devices for some reason. But,
yeah, that's kind of weird. I thought that'd be out by now.
Yeah, not sure what the delay is, but I wanted to give it an honest try. And so once I got everything going, I'm like, why am I got almost an hour around, probably about like an hour messing around with it. It's like, how am I not needing to spend money yet?
Right.
It's set up as your standard mobile freemium title, but I was having a lot of fun with it, and I didn't really need to spend that much money on it. And so it's like, and it appears that Nintendo spent a fair amount of time developing this game, and then they're giving it to you for free because obviously it's the freemium model, as opposed to like the Super Mario Run, $9.99, cost of entry, but except that that's a Nintendo developed game and people are angry that they got to pay for it. It's like because mobile games have evolved to the point where they have actual like steep development cycles. Mm-hmm. And it's like and if it's not based on a freemium model, they just want to sell you the game in one purchase. Wouldn't that be preferable?
But, yeah, I think so. I mean, not only that, but the development, they have to keep on it because the iOS and Android OSs update constantly, like every few months. They have like little pushes and pulls and different things that they do to the system every once in a while. So they have to make sure they're completely compliant, like constantly. So it takes a bunch of effort.
Sure, there's maintenance, yeah.
Yeah, maintenance. I mean, Super Mario Run for me was really fun. Like that game is so polished. I was actually surprised at how polished that was.
Mike, you bought it?
I bought it. I had no problem spending $10 on it.
You weren't mad?
Because I wanted to. Huh?
You weren't mad about it?
No, I was excited because I had so much content to play through.
Oh, that's weird.
Really
you're not like the rest of the internet then. That's weird.
No, I don't know why people were like really mad that, it's a full game. Like there's tons of levels, there's like 3 different modes of gameplay where you can trial rush against your friends, and the bosses are really cool, and you can play it through the levels like I think 3 or 4 times to collect extra hidden coins in different spots. Like the replay value is unreal. So like $10, totally worth it in my book.
Yeah, to me, if it's something they let you. What I liked about it is they let you try it. They give you 3 levels for free, and then hey, if you like this game, then try it.
I was like, I want
now you
more.
have the option to buy it. Yeah.
I was like, I want more. This is fun. Don't get me wrong. Like for like a week, I played those 3 levels like non-stop. Like I kept getting the extra coins, and to the point where I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna buy this because this is fun. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
So, what do you think mobile games like this should cost? Do you think it should be a freemium model where it's like Fire Emblem Heroes, where it's
I think there's room for both to exist. I like Mario Run's price point. I like how they did it. Even the little 3-level demo. I didn't mind it at all. But I also think that the freemium arena is here to stay. it's not going anywhere. But as long as a developer can hone it to where it's not a pay to win type thing, because that's what makes me throw away a game very quickly. When you pay a bunch of extra money and you get all the stuff, and when there's a PvP component and people who pay the most money win, I don't want to play that.
Yeah, no, I agree. When people have unfair advantages because they paid like $20 for a whole bunch of extra stuff, and then you're like, well, I'm playing it for free. I don't want to actually pay money for this. I feel like if they make the game free, right, you should be able to earn the proper amount of coins and money or whatever it is to continue to purchase. I don't think that they should limit you and gate the content. You know what I mean? So you're like, well, I'm not going to be able to get to level 2 or 3 unless I pay like $2 or $1.99 because I need that specific item to advance. Like, that's crap. I think that's garbage.
Yeah, and you're right. You're absolutely right. But here's where it's a double-edged sword, though. The people that do want to pay money and support the game and its development and constant maintenance for some of these, like, you have to give them something, but you can't let it break the game. So, I mean, like, therein lies the conundrum for these developers. It's like, we want to get paid for this. We have a team of like 17 people who work on this full time every day because of like, it's a PvP type game, or there's servers need maintenance and game balancing needs to be done. So it's like they need to be paid. So I mean, like, the game still needs to get revenue.
Like if they got like extra like different fancy outfits, for instance, or like a experience booster like that's timed or something like that, like for 2 hours they get like plus 30% extra XP. I don't care. They're paying for it, right? Yeah. That doesn't break the game. The content's not gated, right? But it's helping them out still. It's helping them develop. Like as long as because I read like for instance Final Fantasy, the mobile game, like Mobius or whatever. Some of that stuff feels gated. Like, you can't actually get to past certain things unless you're buying a bunch of Revive or a bunch of different potions and stuff like that. And people are buying these packs, and then they're, like, not getting what they want, and they're spending tons of money, and they're like, crap, this is such a waste of money and a waste of time. And, like, it's just interesting that the way they made that game, it's, like, dependent upon purchasing things. If you don't purchase stuff, you're not going to get far in the game, and you're not gonna, it's like South Park, you're not gonna have a good time.
Yeah, you're gonna have a bad time.
Gonna have a bad time.
But see, I didn't have that experience with Fire Emblem. It seems like it's well
fluid.
Yeah. I have 20 characters already. I've only spent like $2 on that game for the past.
And that was your
month.
choice. You didn't need to spend.
No, that was my choice.
Right?
I didn't need to spend that. The game gives you enough orbs to get new characters at a normal rate. Like it gives you like I have an overabundance of like hero feathers and all kinds of other stuff that like I haven't even used yet. Shards for stuff that I'm not even that far in the game where I would need to use all this stuff yet. I'm grinding my guys and I'm getting them up in level and I'm still having fun with it.
Dante, are you playing any of these mobile games from Nintendo?
Just to get back to that, Eddie said he was grinding his guys. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, from a gaming perspective, people that are listening to this understand grinding means just playing over and over and over again. So.
Or the other thing that Dante meant.
Right?
Yeah, the other thing that Dante meant.
Yeah,
which, hey, if that's your thing, go for it. But,
man, I really I disdain most mobile games. It's just not something I've ever been into.
But have you tried these two games?
Like Cut the Rope or Angry Birds, things like that. Like those just basic
mobile garbage
mobile games.
He used to love Snake on his Nokia 3390.
You damn right I did.
Yeah, buddy.
Damn right I did.
That was a fun game. But so you haven't tried Super Mario Run or Fire Emblem?
I have not played Super Mario Run yet. I did try a little bit of Fire Emblem and really enjoyed it at Eddie's request. I downloaded it, tried it out, enjoyed it. It's not something I play a lot, mostly because I'm on my phone a lot for work, and I prefer not to be playing a game on it.
That makes sense.
Sure.
I installed the game on my work phone because it ran on it. It didn't work on my personal phone because I have an iPhone 6, and it was just full of memory. No matter what I do, I can't get anything to run on that thing anymore. So
yeah,
that's a different story.
I think we're getting to the point where the predatory mobile games are they're just more they've had a light shown on them, so I hope people are a little smarter about how they spend their money and what they buy with these things, so they're not just dumping a ton of money into Clash of Clans and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope. I mean, I hate. Not I hate. I love South Park, but I hate keep bringing it up as a reference because I live my life through South Park.
The book of South Park.
But yeah, right. So, but like the Canado episode where the devil makes that the application where it's like get the Canado, and Stan gets freaking addicted to it and spending all that money. I mean, I've met a couple of people that have done that by accident because it's so accessible. It's tied to your mobile purchases, and it's so easy to buy something without even realizing that you're spending real money.
Oh yeah, well, and plus all the things you have to collect, and a lot of them are a study in like human psychology. It's like
absolutely,
yeah, but you could have this character and this character and this character, and you can only get these in the premium packs, but we'll give them to you today for the special price of $60. Like what? Oh well, I gotta have that.
They also attach into your notifications for your phone, which activate your dopamine levels, which makes you happy. So it's a real thing.
Oh, that's it's definitely a real thing.
Absolutely,
it's a legitimate thing.
The devil talks all about it in South Park and explains the physiology and psychology between.
It is incredible.
So I mean, that's where the predatory thing kind of comes into it. But
no, I agree. But I don't feel like Nintendo's doing that. I feel like they're entering the arena and they're treading responsibly.
Yeah, even without like that type of price structure and things like that, and I think games should cost money. Period. Like that.
Well, yeah, it's a product, a finished product, right? If you want a piece of garbage like Angry Birds or something like that, it's fun, whatever. But like, if you want like the cool one, like the Star Wars Angry Birds or whatever, that's a legit finished game and it's cool and you pay for it, whatever. But like, don't expect like an amazing game to be free.
Yeah, whether
you get what you pay for.
If it's ad supported, if it's microtransaction supported, whether it's a fee up front, I'd probably be more apt to buy games if I could just give you $5 or give you $10, and then that's it. As opposed
I agree.
The milking or
the milking.
Just like trying to nickel and dime you.
No, I agree. Yeah. I hate being nickel and dimed by companies. It's just
at least that's what I like about Nintendo's approach is that like because they were nervous enough about going mobile, they didn't want to do it, and their shareholders have been pushing them to do it for quite a number of years now, I guess.
Yeah, it's profitable.
But these are their franchises that they're very careful with, except for like Other M and like Star Fox Zero, but they're very careful with their franchises.
When they do make a Metroid game.
Yeah.
Right.
When they do make a Star Fox game.
Exactly.
All right,
but they were careful about it.
To give them props too, like you said, I think they picked two wonderful games to bring out in this way. Like Fire Emblem is a perfect turn-based strategy RPG to play on a phone.
Yeah, but they turned it into a perfect bite-size. Like I could definitely just turn it off, put it in my pocket because the battles are short. They're super short.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so they've scaled them.
One-handed mode with Mario. Yeah. That's great.
Absolutely. If there is a game that you could see being put on mobile by Nintendo, what game would you like to see, if anything? Like, what IP would you like to see next possibly being put on mobile devices?
I think Mario Kart screams
Mario
for
Kart?
It. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mario Kart
you think the
would
phone
be
can
amazing.
handle it?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of driving games that use the accelerometer in a phone to do your steering and stuff. I don't see why it wouldn't.
I want them to make a Star Fox game because no matter what they put out, it'll be better than Zero.
That's true.
Sorry, I had to get some salt on that.
No, that's very true.
Like Mario Golf, Mario Party.
Gosh, that would be awesome. You know what? I was gonna actually say that Mario Party and would be perfect for mobile. It's a board game, right?
Yeah,
and if you could play with your friends,
make it multiplayer.
Yeah, right. If they have the app, and I mean, not even real time though. Like, let's say your friend's busy or whatever, and it's your turn, and you send it, boom, and your friend gets notification, boom. Oh, your friend just went, and they get to it, boom, send it back. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, think how much Words with Friends set the world on fire for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh
Gosh, such a good.
So let it be heard
here
now today that occasionally Mike has a solid idea, like a real good one.
I don't know, just mark it down.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, man.
Thanks. Okay, so I think we tackled the mobile arena for Nintendo. Let's move on to the fun stuff for Zelda. And we can all take different turns and talk about how far we got, and any tricks or hidden things or crazy things we've seen. How about that? Okay. Who wants to go first?
Gentlemen, you guys actually own the game.
Sure.
Mike, go ahead. You're the furthest into it.
Okay. So, like I mentioned last week, I am 18 temples deep at the moment, or shrines deep at the moment. It's a lot of shrines. I was just crazy exploring. I did what I normally do in MMOs, and I just wander and just explore random places, and then go off the beaten path. And I didn't mean to, but like, I got one of the actual real temples done, which is like the animals from the different kingdoms. You have to soothe it from within. It's the animal machines, which is considered an actual legit temple. And I've got four towers unlocked, so a large portion of all the maps and a few stables done. I think the coolest thing I've seen so far was that I was trying to get to Hitano Village, which is the second village in the game, right? And apparently there's a super easy way to go there. Follow the freaking road, right? But no, Mike goes through the mountains, through the oceans, to the back way around the mountain, through the snowy fields where I needed all the chili peppers, right? And then jumped off a cliff and Black Ops helicoptered right down into the valley by the lake where the horses are. I did it the most complicated way you could possibly do it. Right. And Anthony goes, "Why didn't you just take the road?" And I'm like, wow. I guess where I was exploring at, there was no easy way to get back to the road or find the road. So I just was like, you know what? This is open world game. You can just make your way through it, right? And explore.
Yeah, the road is for people who want to play Ocarina. I'm playing Breath of the Wild.
Pretty much. So like in the process of that, I wound up near the ocean. And I was like, wow, it looks like you could blow up that rock over there. And I blew up the rock. And then all of a sudden, a gust of wind comes flushing through it. And I'm like, sweet. And I realized this is a puzzle. So I spent like an hour and a half in that area trying to find all the rocks you could blow up. And then I found a hidden shrine. And I climbed up. I was like looking at this cliff. And I'm like, looks like I could climb up here. I hear noises up there. I think there's people up there. Sure enough, there were monster levels that were way above my fighting skills at that point, because this is like super early in the game, right? I haven't even made it to the second village yet. So what I did was, being sneaky me, I climbed to the right of the mountain where the treasure chests were, got up on top, and there were 300 rupees in each treasure chest, so I got 600 rupees right off the bat. And then I paraglided onto this little island and started messing around with all the flowers, found a little doodad, a Kokoro, whatever doodad, got a golden poop from him. I think that's what they're called.
Delicious.
The Kokoro seeds, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I found a hidden treasure chest on that little island that had 100 rupees in it. So right there, I got 700 rupees in the beginning of the game, and I'm like, yes, I can buy stuff and save it and do whatever I want. And then I made my way to the village and bought some cool clothes. But like, so I got rewarded for, exploring, going off the beaten path, and I think this game is awesome because it rewards you for exploring and being a true RPG player. I got wrecked a few times going the wrong way by running into monsters like that would shatter you with freeze spells or electrocute you like nobody's business. Like one hit kills to me, and I'm like, yeah, I can't go that way yet. But yeah, controls. I love the controls. I think they're fine, but the one thing that frustrated me at first when I started playing is the jump button's the top button, right? And I was expecting the run, right? And the run button's the bottom button. And I think if they were if the run button was on the right, the jump button was on the bottom, and I think that would have been a little better. But I'm getting used to it. That's not bugging me right now. I'm fine with it.
That centaur thing with the bolt arrows.
Oh, the Leiden or whatever, or Linden.
I got killed. I got killed so many times trying to run from him, and then hit, and then pressing in the stick because for some reason
crouching. Yes, that happens to me too.
Yeah, it's just I had a hard time adjusting to getting acquainted with the control setup. Like I had a really hard time with it.
I can tell you why. Destiny.
Well, yeah. Pretty much anything Activision makes that kind of ruined me on that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of major games now with the clicking in the left stick is the sprint.
Because
Yes.
it feels more
this is
natural
not that
because
way.
it's your movement.
Yes. Yeah, that screwed me up in certain puzzles and fighting and stuff like that, like holding down the left button to lock on the enemy and then hitting the button to jump around and stuff like that. There's no rolling dash and stuff. That kind of messed me up, but I got used to it. There are occasionally sometimes where I will use the left button instead of left trigger to lock on, and I'm trying to do a special power, a rune power, and I'm like, crap. And I start jumping the wrong way, and I'm just like, gosh darn it. And then I get back into it, and I do it well, but it's frustrating. I took that Leiden or whatever guy head on a few times, and I'm like, nope, I'm just going to collect the arrows in GTFO, because I do not want to fight this guy.
Well, I mean, because
right
the
now.
first time I tried taking him, I tried to sneak up on him from on top of the tallest rock by the cliff. And
I did that too.
I got down, and then obviously he saw me, so then I started hitting him, and then you can mount him.
Yeah.
There's an option to mount him, so I'm thinking like, what do I gotta do? Do I gotta get on top of him and then start soothing him like a horse? I was like, shh, it's okay.
No.
No. So I'm like,
start stabbing him.
yeah, but I mean, like, why would it even have the option to mount? It's like, well, because it's open world. You can do whatever you want. If you think that's a smart thing to do, then you go right ahead and get on him.
Yeah, so the whole result of that, the consequence is...
Oh, yeah, that didn't work out.
No, it does not work out well. Yeah, and I'm sure I could have taken him. I had enough high-level gear where I could have, but I didn't want to waste it and break it on him.
Oh, no, he has so much health, man. And he does so much damage just by hitting you once.
I wanted to save all that gear for, like, the Master Fighting Shrine that I unlocked, so I haven't gone to that one to finish it yet. So yeah, those are the main things. What about you, Dante? What are some fun or hidden weird things that you've seen?
I think the without getting into story stuff or any of that, like the Blood Moon scenario is really cool.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's weird, right?
And I had no idea that was coming until that happened. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah,
That's
I didn't
amazing.
either. It looked. I was at a shrine. I was looking up. I'm like, what the hell is that? The moon is red, and then the thing kicked in.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
You know a trick for that, right?
No.
So during Blood Moon times, when and whenever Blood Moon happens, pretty much what happens is all the bad guys respawn.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And they're all out. The cool thing is, if you cook during a Blood Moon, you get extra bonuses and perks added to your food when you cook during the Blood Moon.
Huh.
So,
That's ridiculous.
Just something to know.
This
you ever are by
this
fire.
game is absurd.
Right?
It's just so good. It's
so much depth to it.
Yeah, there's so much down the rabbit hole. I don't know I'll ever get even half of it.
Apparently, also, I found out in Hateno Village, if you talk to the builders in the back, you could buy your own house with a horse stable there.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. You talk to the builders. They're trying to knock it down because some girl owned the home. I'm like, does Zelda own this home? Because, I don't know. It was like some girl owned the home. She went off and disappeared and never came back. So I'm like, I don't know. It could have been anybody. But if you talk to the builder in the back and you tell him, don't knock it down, I want to buy it. He goes, all right, I'll sell it to you for 50,000 rupees. And you're like, that's ridiculous. And you're like, no. And he's like, all right, give me 30 pieces of wood, and I'll sell it to you for 3,000 rupees. So that's a quest. So make sure you talk to him. It's behind the model homes over the bridge in Hatano Village. And that's sweet. Oh my god. If you could buy a house, store items, right? And stable your horses there, that's going to be sweet.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
That adds a whole other depth, right, to the game.
Oh yeah.
There's so many little moments. I don't know what centaur guy you guys are talking about.
That's over in Zaro.
But before the Zora Temple.
I haven't even hit
Temple.
that.
Oh yes, it's in the Zora
Womp
city, but it's a quest chain that you have to do before you get to the elephant god thing.
Gotcha.
Elephant god
yeah,
machine.
I'm probably on the other end of the map than where you guys are.
Yeah, no, you can go wherever you want. Like I happened to unlock the tower in that area, and at the top of the tower, one of the Zora fishy guys was up there, and it engaged that whole scene, and I just followed with it, and it led me to their town. I did, if you go to Hatano Village, again, it all circles around that town, right? Go into the inn and go upstairs or go in that area. There's a guy sitting over there that's a traveler, and he talks about how to get to Goron City and the Zora City. So, I'm going to Goron next. So, yeah, that should be fun. That's in the desert. And there is recipe, I think, for heat resistance in the sun.
Okay.
So I gotta hunt down that. So make sure if you go out that way, though, look for... But the thing is, I think one of the recipes is like... One of the items is like bass or fish. You get that from the Zora area in the rivers over there. You can like catch fish and stuff.
Wait, you can catch fish in water?
Well, I mean,
my
it's
God.
really hard to do in the stream, but you need right? You need the armor and stuff to be able to swim fast up the streams. And if you do, you can catch fish.
That Zora armor looks pretty badass, though.
It is dope. Oh, I forgot to mention one other quick thing: the fairies. You can unlock the fairies to enchant your armor.
Oh, no, I didn't see
I don't know
any
if you
of that.
guys noticed that. Have you
Did not
found that,
see any.
Dante?
No, I have not.
Okay, that's in the... I always say it wrong. I suck at Zelda names and saying them correctly if everybody's listening, shaking their heads. The Kokrio Village.
Okay. Gotcha.
If you go up to the shrine, and then in the village, and then walk up the path more and stay to the left, you'll see like a huge budded plant that's like closed. And if you like walk up to it, you can hear the story of the fairy inside, and then she'll ask for 100 rupees. Give her the 100 rupees; it's worth it. Because
it always is.
Right? Tell you, it's worth it. No, I mean that's how the fairies lived, is from rupees. People donating it as they walk by. That's how they got their powers. And apparently no one's done that in years and ages. So once you give her the money, she opens up and all the powers back, and she'll offer to enchant any armor that you have or any piece of clothing that you have. And if you have like skulls or bones or pretty much enemy parts, she uses those to enchant your gear, and it boosts it pretty decently.
That's
like
pretty
one or
cool.
2 armor levels. Yeah. And if you find all her friends, they do extra bonuses and stuff and different stats and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's one of those games that I don't like. I want to play it without a guide and without any kind of hints and things like that. But it just seems like it's so dense and there's so much to do. I'll probably never play it again. You know, like I'll probably never play this game twice.
Oh, sure. It's an experience to be had and not, I don't think, replayed. But yeah, I think that it's fun to talk to other people playing it about where they're at and how they got there, because everybody's doing it differently.
Oh yeah, that's been my
That's a good
experience
point,
too.
yeah.
Is, everybody, you know, I found a shrine in the middle of of one of the rivers, one of the bodies of water, and one of my buddies that was playing it was like, "Where the hell is that?" And you know, explain it to him, and he went and got it, and all. But it's just, I really. It really does need to be said, like how incredible the game is and how well Nintendo did it. How the elements that they brought together to make this game, Nintendo deserves every accolade that they're going to get.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. You can tell it's polished, and they took their time with this one, because it's so dynamic. Like, the one thing we're going to talk about too is the weapons and the strategy behind the weapons, because when you get a weapon, you're used to just keeping it permanently.
Sure.
But these weapons they can break.
Yeah, that was one of my major problems with it.
Let's get into that. Like how you've adjusted.
Okay. Well, basically, last night was my first time trying it, and I maybe got about 6 hours of sit down, hands on, and I started a new game, and then I went to to where my buddy was, and I got to mess around with his. So that's why I did the boss right before the Zora temple and stuff, or to get into the temple, and did a shrine or two, and so I'm messing around and stuff, and I'm learning about the different mechanics and the and there was a lot of stuff I liked, and I went into it with my normal like cynical, like, oh Jesus, it's gonna be just a newer Skyward Sword, sweet, cool. I'm like, why does Link have an iPad 5? And so I mean, like, it's just from there. Like, there's a lot of interesting design choices, and I was just all, I was all meh about it. Not naming names, but when I got, I think I spent, like you guys, I spent a fair amount of time just kind of running around going wee, and then I found a bunch of horses.
Yeah.
And I think finally being able to sneak up on a horse and tame it and like feed it and stuff, and then find a stable for it.
Yep.
And dude, I fell in love with it immediately. After I'm literally talking to the horse. My buddy's laughing at me. He's like, I'm just like, she's starting to veer off, and I gotta like pet her again. And like, right? Like, it's okay, honey, it's okay. I'm like, I'm talking to her and shit. Like, no, back on the road. It's okay, it's all right.
Sucks you in.
Yeah, I'll give you an apple when we get there. It's okay. And
you're right. I was doing the same thing.
Yeah, dude. And so I mean, like, there were things that were just absolutely wildly breathtaking. But yeah, terrible puns. Like the weapons thing, I really like it. I like the whole idea. I like everything about it. But when you get a really badass sword, you get like a long sword that does like 22 damage by the Zora Temple, and it's a bad looking bastard. And I probably got about 12 hits out of it, and then it broke. Yeah. And I was like, well, I mean, like, I couldn't just. You said there were blacksmiths? I didn't run across anyone that could fix weapons. I don't know if that's a thing.
It's in the Zora city. So, and it's only for like the trident, and there's one other weapon that it works for, but it's for like the champion weapons.
Higher tier weapons. Okay, well, that's not something I ran into yet.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you how or where, but you will eventually acquire one of those in that area from doing plenty of the quests. Okay. And the guy that's a jerk to you when you get there, that you steal the electric arrows from, he's the guy that works in the shop. And when you talk to him, he'll tell you, he's like, if you have one of these things, I'll fix it for you. Just don't break it. If it gets damaged, I'll fix it for you.
That's cool. That's real cool.
Yeah.
However, I'm. See, one thing I'm curious about though is like if the different tiers of weapons, like, I wonder if it matters like what you're hitting. See, for example, like if I use stasis on a boulder and I give it 3 good whacks, that's probably the same as being in combat with it against like 7 or 12 enemies or something.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Hitting a shield, like if hitting something that's metal or something that's shielded, I'm sure that does that
more damage than hitting soft tissue.
Yes, so doing tons of shrines, I've gotten to the area where it's starting to get super advanced, right? And you're using stasis a lot more.
Well, the game actually doesn't work like that. What's cool about the shrines is because you don't know what you're walking into. It could just be a puzzle. It could just be a boss. It could be a puny boss. Or it could be one that's like, well, I'm nowhere near ready to fight this guy. But you don't know. It's the exploration. It's the just walking in and seeing what you get.
Well, the random thing in this one I did recently was all about this whole shrine was all about the use of stasis, and doing it properly. And that one was the toughest one I have done in here, because besides the advanced combat one, only because my weapons kept breaking. Yeah, I had to go plan properly. Like, it gave you a couple hammers, and then you could get you can bring in other stuff. But I broke my boomerang. I broke a couple hammers, and I broke a couple axes, and I'm just like, wow. I eventually finished it, and I was very happy, but I was like, it took a good beating. Like, in the stasis of these metallic balls, an axe lasted, I would say, 24 hits, and then a hammer lasted about like 15 to 20. But the swords, the tiny swords, no, don't use tiny swords on stasis items, because it took like 3 or 4 hits.
Then that implies they have a whole system in place based on weights of the weapons versus the object you're hitting. That's really in depth. It's really in depth.
Yeah, so anything that you can break stone with, use those when you're hitting with stasis items, or any heavier, longer items like that are just heavy, like heavy axes and stuff. They'll last longer, and it'll work. So smaller ones will just break after a few hits. In my own experience.
Cool.
That's what I like about this. We're sharing our different experiences and stuff and learning and, being able to apply it back to the game.
Yeah. So, anyway, where's the overworld music? Where is it?
The what?
Where's the overworld music?
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, because it's the quietest Zelda game I've ever played.
Oh, you mean general music and itself? Yeah, it's got a lot of ambient sounds.
Yeah, a lot of that. However, it was easily remedied by my buddy put a cell phone with a Zelda playlist and hooked it up to his digital amp, and it synced up with the game amazingly.
Oh, I'm sure it would. I have one of those right by mine too.
It was almost uncanny when the music would change when we get into combat or go talk to people in towns and stuff. The Kokiri village from Ocarina started playing when we started talking to people in the town, and it was weird, very weird. But yeah, funny. It's oddly quiet. Obviously it's.
It plays music. I think it changes.
It does.
Tone.
It does.
It plays
not
dramatically.
It plays when you're riding a horse. It plays a constant cell phone ringtone.
Well, you're talking about the signal, your Sheikah Slate's single.
Sheikah Slate 5 SE.
Well, no, it's like the detection. You can turn that off in the menu.
That's what that is. That's not just they're trying to just make some sort of horse clippity clop music.
No.
Okay.
If you actually go into your menu, the beat, you're talking about the beeping, right?
It's not a beeping. It's like bells or something. I don't know.
Are you talking about the gear clanking together?
No, it's not the gear. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, there's a beeping sound. You can turn that off because it's always constantly searching for either a shrine, or you can take photos of things and then set the GPS to try to find those things that you took photo of, like radishes or crickets or whatever that you're looking for.
Well, one thing that I enjoyed that you guys were talking about earlier is that you can accidentally run into anything. And but before I moved over to my buddy's save file, so I could play where he's at just to get an idea of what the game's actually. So I'm still running around, no orbs, so 3 hearts and base stamina, and I'm running around. And he goes, "How the hell did you even get here? That's a guardian. Turn around."
Oh gosh, you ran into a guardian.
Yeah, and he goes, you need to go the other way. And I was like, okay. I was like, but that's a big looking dude. He goes, yeah, don't fight that.
Yeah, so, you'll die.
And well, I got some weapons. He goes, you got 3 bone arms and an axe. He goes, you're not gonna fight him. Okay, fine. But it does feel incredibly open. They've done a great job of doing that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's I don't know if. See, it's not that I have a problem with the system, but for example, when I got the horse, it took me probably 25 minutes? It took me a better part of 25 minutes to find a stable so I wouldn't lose the horse.
I didn't even know stables existed because I didn't go that way. Anthony told me where it was and how to get there, and then I was like, that's awesome. But there are lots of stables scattered out through the land. I've already found 3. So they're around and they'll help. You know what I mean? Find your horse and stuff like that. So I don't know. At first, I was like, I just was abandoning horses left and right,
Yeah.
And when I found out about that, I was like, awesome, that's so cool.
Yeah, thanks for the ride, honey. I'll see you later.
Exactly, right? Well, we're running low on time here, so I want to jump to the last question, right?
Okay.
So, hater to question mark. You're hating on the Wii, or not the Wii? Gosh, wow. You're hating on the Switch, hard, pretty hard. You got about 7 or 8 hours on it. How do you feel now?
My initial positions haven't completely changed. But however, after actually sitting down with the system, I actually pulled Zelda. The friend of mine let me pull Zelda out on tablet mode. We got to mess around with it for a few minutes. I think the easiest way to control that system is tablet mode. I'm not a big fan of that controller. It feels like you're holding a tiny little cheeseburger with tiny little buttons.
I haven't had any issues playing it. I got a lot of time into it.
Well, you probably got tiny little girl hands or something. I don't know.
No, I don't.
But I didn't. I think I'd be fine with it if I had a Pro controller.
Okay, that's a fair assessment.
So, like I said, the system itself. My stance on Nintendo and why I want them to have a console with graphical parity to its competitors is because that's how you really bring the real third parties back. That's how you do that. But the thing is, it's like Nintendo's never really needed to be on top for their first party games because I don't need Zelda or Metroid or anything to look like Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't need to see bumps on somebody's nose. That's not what Nintendo games are about. So I'm less concerned with that. I'm just more concerned about their now that they have Zelda, and I know a couple people who are going to play this game 3 or 4 times because there's so much to do in that game. Although I mean, even though it seems incredibly daunting to have to go through all of that again. But yeah, it's a good launch title.
So are you interested in, like, pretty much the point of the question is you had zero interest in it before. Do you have interest in it now?
I never said I had zero interest in it. I wanted to be interested in it, but they weren't giving me what the online stuff. I mean, I had huge problems with. I was always interested in it. I just wanted to see more for it. So the next title that people are excited about that's not a port of something that's already out or a re-release with just a couple additions from a Wii U game is Mario, and that's not till October. So I mean, like, if someone finishes Zelda next week,
Xenoblade or Fire Emblem the year after,
the year after. And it's like, I'm very glad they announced like a legit Fire Emblem game, because I'm sure there must have been some kind of backlash when they announced a Fire Emblem game. Yeah, but it's Fire Emblem Warriors. Koei, can you stop making those now? But I mean, like, that's so. I mean, like, they're spread few and far between, and usually they're quality games. They're great games, but they don't have a whole bunch of development houses, or at least it doesn't seem to me that they do.
You mean third party? I think there's plenty of third parties that are going to be coming.
That's not what I mean. I mean quality first party Nintendo titles. Because that's why people buy Nintendo consoles.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, like, the thing is, the maybe 2 a year. I mean, and the top tier franchises. The thing is, it's like they quickly had Reggie say something about Metroid. So I'm sure they heard enough people asking,
Believe me, they've been hearing it for a while.
They've been hearing it for a long time. So I mean, like, we'll see. I'm not buying a Switch right now.
All right. So
when I see
hater to question mark still, you're still on the fence.
When I see Mario come out, that'll definitely tell me whether I'm buying one or not. When I get
wearing you down slowly.
When I get my hands on with Mario, I'll decide whether or not I want one or not. I have to buy a Pro controller. I'm not sure. I mean, like, tablet mode is great. I really like how those Joy-Cons feel on tablet mode, but squished onto that little tiny thing, not a big fan.
Does your friend have a Pro controller?
He does not.
Okay, I don't either, because it was $80.
$80, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I'm happy with the controls as they are right now, but I do like it tablet mode. You're right, it's fun. I just like playing it on the TV better, so I don't mind the controller for right now because I love how Zelda looks on the TV. It's beautiful. But yeah, I guess we're gonna wrap it up and call it a day. But we had a great episode. I think we talked about a lot of different things, all Nintendo, but that's okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's of the season right now, so it's expected. And I hope everybody enjoyed listening to this. And if you guys have any questions, or you want to hear about something specific, or you want to give us shout outs, do it on Twitter at GameGravy, or join our public Facebook community on Facebook called GameGravy. And we'll talk to you then. All right, thanks for listening, everyone.
See you.
See you.